Hey there, Cinemaster fans! Hope you're ready for some movie magic. Let's dive right in. The movie begins with Mehra, who we see entering her house. She finds drawings of her son and his wife, who passed away 20 years ago. She realizes that her grandson Krishna was the one who drew them and is very impressed. She goes to him and asks, "Did you draw this?" He replies, "Yes, I'm very talented, by the way." At that moment, the school principal calls her and informs her that Krishna solved mathematical equations that professors would take months to solve. She is astonished that he turned out to be like his father, who was a genius and the smartest man in the world. To confirm this, they take Krishna for a test. He faces the smartest minds in the country who ask him difficult questions. Surprisingly, the boy answers them all within seconds without even thinking. This causes his grandmother to panic. She becomes scared for him, takes him, and runs away immediately. The school principal goes to her and says, "Your grandson is a genius and could be like his father." She replies, "That's why I need to keep him away. They killed his father and I don't want to lose his grandson too." She takes him and moves to live in a secluded place in a simple village in the Indian mountains. We notice that the boy is very strong, even when playing with his friends. They are all amazed and scared of him, and no one wants to play with him. Years pass, and Krishna grows up. We see him racing a horse, displaying incredible speed, and even leaping ahead of the horse, leaving it behind. He is very happy with his strength. At that moment, a little boy notices him and threatens to tell his grandmother that he used his powers. Krishna bribes the boy to keep quiet and sneaks back into the house. But his grandmother senses him and asks, "Did you use your powers again?" Later, we see him arranging dishes skillfully. The boy tattles on him, saying Krishna raced the horse, climbed the mountain with great skill, and jumped from a high altitude. This angers his grandmother, and she scolds him. He replies, "What do you want me to do? I have no friends. Everyone my age has moved to the cities for education, and I'm stuck here, as if I'm hiding from something." He explains that this is why he tries to befriend animals and treat them as friends, blaming her for the situation. Let's move to a man who goes to the school principal and asks about Krishna's whereabouts. The principal refuses to disclose the location, even when offered anything he wants in return. The man insists, but the principal denies knowing anything about Krishna. Meanwhile, Krishna is seen playing with the village children. At this time, he notices someone paragliding and becomes very excited, running through the trees to get a closer look. However, the paraglider malfunctions, and the person falls. Krishna runs at full speed, leaps, and catches the person, who turns out to be a very beautiful girl. He is mesmerized by her beauty, but the girl panics upon realizing they are at a height and starts screaming. Annoyed by her reaction, Krishna lets go, causing her to faint. Her name is Priya. Her team arrives and takes her to their camp. When she regains consciousness, she tells them about someone who saved her from the trees, but they refuse to believe her. They claim it's impossible for anyone to do that. At that moment, Krishna appears and signals to his friend among them. The friend fabricates a story, saying the forest is haunted by a ghost that has been there for 20 years, appearing at its whim and being very dangerous. The girl notices her twisted ankle and is taken to rest in the tent. When everyone leaves, Krishna sneaks in, heals her ankle, and leaves. The girl wakes up and screams but realizes her ankle is fine, making her jump with joy. She tells her friends about the ghost helping her, but they dismiss it as a figment of her imagination. But she leaves immediately. She meets Krishna. She runs into Krishna's grandmother and asks her if she sees the boy standing there. But when she looks again, Krishna and the children have vanished. The grandmother says, "You must be tired. Come rest at my house." And the girl agrees. Inside the house, she sees a picture of Krishna's father, and when she asks about it, the grandmother tells her it's the son who died 20 years ago. Suddenly, Krishna appears, scaring her, and she runs away in terror, while Krishna laughs at her reaction. She returns to camp frightened. Krishna's friend explains that Krishna is attached to her because she looks like his lover who died 20 years ago. Their leader insists it's all nonsense. They prepare to climb the mountains, and while Priya is climbing, she sees Krishna staring at her, panics, and falls. But Krishna jumps and saves her, impressing everyone who witnesses his skills. They realize he's not a ghost but an extraordinary human. Krishna's friend later arranges for Priya to meet Krishna properly. Following signs in the forest, she reaches Krishna's place. Though terrified, Krishna reassures her that he is human, and the picture she saw was of his father. She asks how he can climb trees and mountains so easily. He explains he's lived there for 20 years and it's second nature. To test if he's real, she pricks him with a pin, and he laughs, calling her silly. She eventually takes him to the team, and when they hear his story, they burst into laughter and warmly accept Krishna as their companion for the rest of their trip to benefit from his unique skills. They then embark on their adventure, and we see them on the ship. Krishna skillfully catches fish with his hands, impressing everyone. His strength is so great that he defeats 6 men in a tug-of-war on his own. Later, he plays volleyball and hits the ball so hard that it breaks a rock. As time passes, Krishna and Priya grow closer. He shares stories about his life, revealing that he didn't finish his education because his grandmother was overprotective, as he's her only family. They spend more time together, dancing, singing, and enjoying their moments to the fullest. Krishna decides to introduce Priya to his grandmother, who warmly welcomes her, cooks for them, and chats with them. Afterward, Priya informs Krishna that they'll be leaving the area and returning to Singapore. Krishna takes her to the station, holding her hand, reluctant to let go. They say their goodbyes and leave, but as they travel, they keep encountering Krishna, who waves at them. When they finally leave, Krishna feels heartbroken, as he had grown attached to Priya and now feels lonely again. Back in Singapore, Priya and her friend return to the TV station where they work, only to be scolded by their manager for extending their vacation by 5 days. The manager fires them, but Priya tries to salvage the situation by claiming they met someone with superpowers who can perform incredible feats, like climbing trees faster than monkeys and leaping mountains with extraordinary strength. She suggests showcasing his abilities on television to attract massive viewership and advertising revenue. The manager agrees and tells them to bring him immediately. However, Priya feels conflicted about exploiting Krishna, but her friend insists they have no other choice. Priya worries that Krishna wouldn't leave his grandmother, but her friend encourages her to use Krishna's feelings for her to persuade him. Priya calls Krishna, coached by her friend on what to say. She tells him she loves him and can't live without him, adding that her mother is forcing her to marry someone else. Krishna, overjoyed, promises to come the next day. Excited, he shares the news with his grandmother, who becomes upset as it means he'll leave her. She reminds him of how she's dedicated her life to protecting him. Hurt and angry, Krishna accuses her of being selfish, saying she's kept him imprisoned and friendless. Later, she tearfully explains the family's past. Krishna's grandfather had invented a device to communicate with aliens, but he died in an accident, leaving her pregnant with Krishna's father. Krishna's father was born with a developmental delay, but discovered his grandfather's invention, leading to contact with an alien named Jadoo, who gave him superpowers. Krishna's father became a renowned inventor, but he was exploited by a man named Dr. Arya, who wanted him to create a device to foresee disasters. Krishna's father died protecting his invention, and his mother fled with Krishna to keep him safe. Moved by his grandmother's story, Krishna promises to be careful and not use his powers recklessly. She gives him his father's clothes and bids him farewell. Meanwhile, Dr. Arya, the man who once exploited Krishna's father, is revealed to be working on the same project Krishna's father had started decades ago. He's close to completing it, though it's taken him 20 years compared to Krishna's father, who had achieved it in just a month. Krishna arrives in Singapore, thrilled by the city. When thieves attempt to steal his bag, they're overpowered by his strength and flee in fear. Krishna waits until Priya arrives, and when he sees her, he's overjoyed. Priya's friend greets him, and he asks why Priya's mother didn't come. They make excuses, saying she had to leave the country for 2 weeks, and Krishna decides to stay with them. They take him to a hotel on the 20th floor. Then he sees a worker showing off his skills. And the guy is really amazing, and he does this to get money for his sister, who is disabled, and she can walk. But during that, the stick breaks, and the guy falls on the ground, and people leave him and walk, where they leave him to rest. And his sister keeps crying, which makes Krishna feel very sad. He goes and takes the stick, performing crazy moves and flips. The boy is honestly very talented and entertaining. Everyone gathers around, collecting money to give to the little girl. She becomes very happy and thanks him. Her brother then invites Krishna to the circus where he works, saying, "Come and watch," and thanks him for what he did. Krishna leaves the place immediately and later talks to his grandmother, telling her he will stay for a while because Priya's father is traveling, and he will wait for her to return. On the last day, Priya starts filming her show, saying Krishna is someone who is experimenting with trees growing faster than the ground. He tells her, "We didn't agree on this," but she convinces him. Using his intelligence, he manages to communicate with the earth without revealing his abilities. When they film in the water to catch fish, he keeps pulling out trash instead, so they don't discover his powers. Priya becomes very upset because this could get her fired. She then takes Krishna and sits with him somewhere. He tells her he will give her everything she desires. She asks, "What else?" He starts saying romantic words, enchanting her with his talk. She becomes emotional, but he holds her and says, "I will always stay by your side and protect you." Afterward, he takes her to the circus where the boy who invited him works. The two of them go, dance, sing, and put on a wonderful show. Suddenly, the circus catches fire, and everyone panics and flees the place immediately. But there are still children inside. Krishna wants to save them but doesn't want anyone to discover his identity. He finds a mask, wears it, and goes in. He successfully saves all the children there. The boy becomes very impressed, but the parents of one girl beg, saying their daughter is still inside. Krishna goes back in, flying skillfully until he finds the girl and rescues her. When he comes out, he sees Priya. He hands over the girl and quickly escapes, reappearing from behind her so she doesn't suspect he is Krishna. She concludes it wasn't him. The media then starts talking about the hero who saved everyone. The channel's management wants to discover who Krrish is. Priya suspects Krishna is Krrish and decides to test him. She hires actors to attack him and observe his reaction. On the last day, she takes him to a location with someone secretly filming. Thugs show up, and she initially thinks they are the actors, but it turns out they are real criminals. Krishna protects her, but when he notices her ring, he decides to confront the criminals later as Krrish. At night, he dons Krish's costume, goes to the criminals, and confronts their leader, demanding the ring. The leader refuses and sends his men after him. Krishna defeats them all skillfully. The boy is amazed, and no one can touch him. He defeats them all, retrieves the ring, and scares the leader away. By coincidence, his friend sees him and is thrilled. He tells Krishna the world should know Krish's identity. Krishna refuses, giving him the mask and telling him to appear on TV and claim the reward, as he needs it for his sister. The friend agrees and thanks him. The next day, the friend receives the reward, and Krishna and Priya attend. The camera focuses on them, and suddenly Arya's guard spots them. Krishna and Priya are present, and the camera is coming on them. And during this, he sees them thinking about Arya's inventory and knows that this is Rohit's son, because he looks exactly like him. And Krishna gives Priya the ring back after that. So the ring, Priya tells her that Krrish, his friend, is the one who brought him back. When she goes, she keeps watching her recordings. Meanwhile, she sees Krishna wearing the mask, and she knows that Krishna is Krrish. She and her friend are very happy, and they immediately run to the channel to inform the manager, but she forgets her mobile phone. At this moment, Krishna calls her, and her mother responds, so he tells her, "When did you come from abroad?" She says to him, "I haven't traveled." "Who are you?" He says to her, "I am Krishna," and she says to him, "Krishna who?" Knowing that Priya didn't talk to her about him at all. After that, he goes to her channel and actually goes to her. At this moment, they are going to release Krish's video, and everyone knows that Krishna is Krrish, and he sees, hears, and knows that all of this was taking advantage of her, and that she didn't like him at all. He immediately leaves the place, but when he leaves, Priya tells her friend that she really loved Krishna, and after that, he goes to pack his bag so he can travel and return to his grandmother. She comes and says to him, "Why did you hide all this from me and that you were Krrish?" He says to her, "As you deceived me and made me believe that you love me, why did you bring me here?" So she tells him, "It was at the beginning, but I truly loved you." He tells her, "My grandmother was right, the world is very selfish." She tells him, "She is selfish and she locks you too." She tries to talk to him all the time, telling the story of his father. Meanwhile, her friend tries to stop her from showing the video, but she tells her that the manager took it. She wants to retrieve it, but now the manager is at Dr. Arya's conference. She tries to interfere, but security prevents her. They think that she is the one who was with Krishna on TV, so they take her after that, and they go to him, and tells him that his father is still alive. He is shocked and very sad about this and goes to him. They take a picture together, and he tells him that they were friends and worked together on a project for Dr. Arya. He explains that the project works with his father's fingerprint, eye, and heartbeat. At that time, his father saw him being born and also saw Dr. Arya planning to kill him, knowing he was being used to make a device. His father called his mother and told her that the world is very selfish. After that, Arya hit him with fire and told him that he would rebuild the device again, but only he could activate it. He prevented Arya from killing him, telling him it works with his fingerprints and heartbeats, so he hid Krishna's father until Arya could not recreate the device. Krishna promises revenge for separating a father from his son and a mother from her child for 20 years. Arya reveals Krishna's father is imprisoned on a heavily guarded island. Meanwhile, Arya completes his future-seeing device and uses it to see his death at Krishna's hands that day. He laughs at Rohit, but Rohit mocks him. Arya tries to change the future by attacking Krishna. Mistaking the circus boy for Krrish, Arya kills him. Krishna arrives, sees the boy dead, and chases Arya through the city at incredible speed. Arya escapes to his island by helicopter. Krishna swims through the sea at lightning speed, reaching the island. Arya's men attack him, but Krishna defeats them effortlessly. Arya uses the machine again and sees he will still die at Krishna's hands. He realizes Krrish is on the island. Krishna sneaks in, defeats Arya's men, and confronts Arya, who threatens to kill Rohit. Arya doesn't understand why Krishna wants to save Rohit. Arya kills Vikram, saying he knows the future and who is against him. Arya kidnaps Priya, forcing Krishna to surrender. Arya's men beat Krishna, but Rohit intervenes and fights back. And his men keep hitting him, and he goes to Rohit and he asks him, "Who are you?" So Arya tries to hit him, but they fly away, and he gets up after that and keeps hitting his men at a terrifying speed and flies away. So he gets up and fires 2 shots at his father and his lover, so he runs at his full speed and throws the extinguisher at Priya's bullets and takes his father's bullet, so Arya tries to hit him, but he runs at a terrifying speed. Then he turns around and gets hit with all his might, and they fly away and he falls on an iron rod, and Arya dies from the shock of seeing Krishna's resemblance to Rohit. Priya tells Rohit that Krishna is his son. They embrace and return to their village, and he tells his grandmother that he has a surprise. When she looks ahead, she sees Rohit, her son. She becomes emotional and hugs him after years of separation. Later, they reunite and start living together again. We see Rohit looking up at the sky saying, "Thank you very much." If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos.